Hey, what's good, fam? It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com back with another player spotlight. Remember, definitely hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. We appreciate you more than you know. Getting closer to 50,000 subscribers right here on BamaInsider.com. Today, we're talking about now sophomore Malachi Moore, 6 foot, 190-pound prospect out of Trussville, Alabama, a Rivals.com 4-star that was recruited by Carl Scott. As you know, Carl Scott now the corners coach for the Minnesota Vikings, and will be Jay Valai. We've talked about that on BamaInsider.com. As mentioned, he was a 4-star out of Trussville, Alabama, the 8th ranked player in the state of Alabama, elected to sign with the Crimson Tide over Arkansas, Auburn, and Georgia. Now, this past season in 2020, he had a fantastic season. And when people out there say that freshmen don't play at Alabama, they need to go watch the film of Malachi Moore, William Anderson, Tim Smith, and all these freshmen that played at Alabama in the 2020 season, especially on the defensive side of the ball. These guys not only played, they started. Now, Malachi Moore started 11 games for the Crimson Tide. We'll talk about why he didn't play the final 2 games of the season, but let's focus on what he did for the Crimson Tide during his inaugural season. 44 tackles at the star position. Now, from the intel that we gathered, Malachi Moore had to work for that starting spot during the August training camp period. That's when he started to turn heads, and that's when he earned the starting spot. So going into that first game against Missouri, Malachi Moore was your starter from the get-go. During the entire season, he had 3 interceptions, 9 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, which he actually returned for a touchdown, which was against Tennessee. Everybody remembers the scoop and score from Malachi Moore in Neyland Stadium. Now, he had some big-time honors during the season. He was selected to the SEC All-Freshman team. He was selected as a freshman All-American by the Football Writers Association of America, and he led Alabama's defense with 4 forced turnovers. Now, against Texas A&M, he really shined in his second career start, earning SEC Freshman Player of the Week recognitions for his efforts. Tied for 3rd on Alabama's defense with 6 tackles, and led the Alabama Crimson Tide with 2 pass breakups, ending the Aggies' drive inside the red zone. Selected as the Defensive Player of the Week by Alabama's coaches for his play in the home opener. He was the SEC Freshman of the Week against Tennessee. Remember that scoop and score. He had a Pro Football Focus grade out in that game of 83.2. Absolutely phenomenal for a freshman. He was the SEC Freshman of the Week once again against Mississippi State with a Pro Football Focus grade of 83.6. Now let's pause right there. Pro Football Focus is former college coaches, former guys who have coached in the league, who grade these individual players every single game. These are guys who are very detailed about the grading process, and a freshman that gets over a grade of 80% is absolutely phenomenal. So keep that in mind. Now, his final game of the season came against Florida. He finished the game with 3 tackles in the SEC championship game, but did not play against Notre Dame or against Ohio State. Nick Saban never really went into the exact injury of Malachi Moore. It's obviously not too serious because he's getting ready to go for his sophomore season, but it was unfortunate that we couldn't see him in the playoff game against the Fighting Irish or in the title game against the Buckeyes. Throughout the entire season, his overall Pro Football Focus grade was 79.6 and a mind-blowing 82.1 Pro Football Focus grade in coverage, which is outstanding considering that he played in 707 snaps. Now, let's kind of focus on that for just a second. As a freshman, a 79.6 grade out is mind-blowing. 82.1 in coverage is outstanding. And you have to think about it like this. Alabama's defensive secondary, returning into 2021, is very experienced. Okay, let's kind of zoom in on the secondary that's returning. You have Josh Jobe at the corner position. You're going to have to replace Patrick Surtain. That's going to be a big piece to replace, and that's something that's going to have to develop during the springtime or even going into the first game of the season against Miami. But at that star position, you're returning Malachi Moore. As we just discussed, he played in 707 snaps. That's a ton of experience. And then behind him at the safety position, you have Jordan Battle and DeMarco Hellum. So overall, that secondary unit has a lot of veteran experience coming back. I know, as we talked about at the beginning of the video, they're going to have to replace Carl Scott, who I think did a fantastic job with these corners. But remember, Nick Saban is a grad assistant. That's what he refers to himself as, working with the corners. And then you have Jay Valai coming in, working with the corners. And then you also have Charles Kelly working with the safeties. So still you got some good continuity. And I think Jay Valai is going to fit in just fine working with these secondary players. Now let's kind of go over the scouting report for a player like Malachi Moore. I think when you kind of hone in on his specific skills. I didn't come up with this. Someone did during one of our live shows. Kind of has mini Minkah Fitzpatrick vibe going on, and I completely agree. Remember, Minkah Fitzpatrick played a couple years ago for the Alabama Crimson Tide, won the Jim Thorpe Award for his outstanding ability, and it seems like Malachi Moore is always in the right place at the right time, and that's because he plays heads-up football, right? He understands the game, understands where he needs to be. So, number one, he has an outstanding playmaking ability. I think overall, kind of getting to that 82.1 Pro Football Focus grade in coverage, it means he's great in pass coverage. I think at times during the season, offenses were going to try to go to Malachi Moore. They're going to try to go to Brian Branch when he got in. But look, these younger freshmen were up to playing SEC football. We're up to playing at the highest level, which is credit to the coaches and credit to really their high school coaches for getting them ready to be acclimated for the college level that quickly. I think Malachi Moore is able to match up with slot corners, which is very difficult to do. I think in the game of college football, corner or the star position is very difficult because you're having to deal with these wide receivers who are exceptional on the outside or the inside. So Malachi Moore doing that as a freshman, coming back with a lot of experience, I think he's going to be primed for a big sophomore season. I think he exhibits good natural ball hawking skills. Again, going back to the fact that he had several interceptions during his inaugural season for Alabama. He had a lot of pass deflections all over the field, right place, right time. And I think he's a good open field tackler. That's very important in any aspect, whether you're outside linebacker, inside linebacker. I thought Patrick Surtain did a great job, and I thought Malachi Moore did a great job in the open space when they are matched up with someone from the offensive side of the ball. I want to know your take on Malachi Moore as a player. Do you get that same vibe as kind of almost a mini Minkah Fitzpatrick? Do you think he adds another element to Alabama's defense? It's still mind-blowing to me that he played in 707 snaps as a freshman during 2020. And I think that's a big testament to him just really having his mind right, coming to play and really standing out for Alabama's defense. I cannot wait to see what he does during the 2021 season in year two. Malachi Moore, a big time player that you should definitely know about. I'm sure you already do, but expect a big time season in 2021. Hey, thank you very much for watching. We appreciate you more than you know. Please hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. And remember, when you think Alabama football coverage, come to BamaInsider.com right on YouTube. We appreciate you more than you know. This is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. We'll catch you next time right here for our next player spotlight on BamaInsider.com.